All right, Chevra. Let's learn Kamsa Bar Kamsa, and then when we finish with that, we can learn Kedushas Levi on Tisha B'Av. There's Kedushas Levi for Tisha B'Av, and then it'll be time for shul. Kamsa Bar Kamsa Chorav Yerushalayim. Jerusalem was destroyed because of Kamsa and Bar Kamsa. Josephus actually mentions someone by a similar name, Kamoso, something like that. The word Kamsa means a grasshopper in Aramaic. So Bar Kamsa means the son of the grasshopper. So it's generally understood that these are a father and a son, but some say it's, archetypical of something that's insignificant, that how I think it's often said the little things are the big things. So because of a person whose name was the grasshopper, and his son, Jerusalem was destroyed. There was a man who was friends with Kamsa, Uvel Devavi Bar Kamsa, but he was feuding with Bar Kamsa. Avad Soite, he made a feast, probably a wedding feast. Amalei L'Shamai. Oh, all right. Oh, how did it keep going? Okay. He said to his servant, so Laisili Kamsa, he said, go bring me Kamsa, meaning his friend. Azal Laisili Bar Kamsa. But instead he brought his foe, Bar Kamsa. Asa Ashkechedeh Dahava Yosef. He came, Bar Kamsa came, and he saw this fellow sitting, Amalei. So the host said, Mikteo Gavra Boldavavideo Gavrahu, my boy Sacha. He said, considering that this man, meaning you, are an enemy of that man, meaning me, why did you come here? Kumpoik. Get out of here. I guess the host found Bar Kamsa sitting there. So he told him, get up and leave. So Bar Kamsa told the host, since I'm here already, just let me pay my tab. I'll pay for whatever I eat and drink. Amalei Lo. He said, no. So he said, well, I'll give you half of the cost of the whole meal, the whole banquet. He said to him, no. So he said, I'll pay for the whole party. He said to him, no. So he picked him up and threw him out, gave him an old bum's rush. So Bar Kamsa said to himself, there's rabbis sitting here. Why didn't they rebuke? Why didn't they protest? Seems like they're okay with what happened. So he went and made a report to the royal imperial authorities, the Romans. So they went and told Caesar, the Jews are rebelling against you. Amalei mi Yemar. He said, who told you this? Amalei, he answered, Shadar lahu korbana, chazes I makarvenle. Send a sacrifice to the temple and see if they will offer it as a sacrifice, which is permitted. According to Jewish law, a Gentile may send a burnt offering to the Jewish temple. So Shadavide Glatiltis, he sent a third calf, which is a very choice calf. But they kase Shadave Muma Benifsusayim. But secretly, Bar Kamsa made a blemish in the lips of the calf, which would render it um, disqualified from being offered as a sacrifice. So it wasn't that they were not accepting the sacrifice from Caesar, but rather that the sacrifice was disqualified. Now, the Romans had the same idea in their religion, that you only bring a very perfect animal as a sacrifice. However, they're not as exacting as the Jews. And so something like a small blemish in the eyelids or in the lips would be considered enough of an imperfection that it would not be offered in the Jewish temple, but the Roman would not understand such a thing. So Savar Rabbanin Likarove Mishum Shloim Malchus. Some of the rabbis said, what's the big deal? This isn't the Korban Tamid, right? This is an optional sacrifice. It's being offered by a Gentile as a burnt offering. What's the big deal? For the sake of peace, we should offer it. Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulis, so Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulis said to them, people will hear about this and they'll say that blemished animals are offered on the altar. So then they thought, well, maybe we should kill Bar Kamsa. So then he won't be able to go and give the report back that the sacrifice was not offered. Amalu Rabbi Zechariah. So Rabbi Zechariah said, we kill people for blemishing a sacrifice. So Rabbi Yochanan said, in Vesanusai shall Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas Chrivu Chrivus Besenu Sarfus Echalenu Viklisanu Ertzenu. Yochanan said, the false humility of Rabbi Zechariah ben Avkulas destroyed our temple, burnt our sanctuary, and caused us to be exiled from our land. So who did they send to destroy Jerusalem? Nero, who would later become the Caesar. Kikasa. When he arrived, Shagir Mizrach, Asa Nafal B'Yerushalayim. So he saw how things were going, wanted to look to what was going on. So he shot an arrow to the east, and it fell in Jerusalem. It came and fell in Jerusalem. Lamarov, Asav Nafal B'Yerushalayim. Then the same thing, he shot the arrow to the west, and also it turned around and fell in Jerusalem. La Baruchas Hashemayim, Asav Nafal B'Yerushalayim. He sent it all four directions, always landed in Jerusalem. Amalei Leonaika. So he saw a child was studying, and he said, Psoikli Psukach, tell me which Bible verse are you studying right now? Amalei, he said to him, he was studying Ezekiel 25, verse 14. V'nasatis nikmos ibe Edom biad Ami Yisrael, and I'm placing my revenge of the Edomites in the hands of my people Israel. So Nero said, God wants to destroy his house. And he wants to wipe his hands on that man, meaning me, Nero. So Nero went and he converted to Judaism, and Rabbi Meir. And Rabbi Meir was one of his progeny. And so when the Romans said that Nero became mentally ill, was actually that he had converted to Judaism. And that's what they covered up in their history. Because it was too embarrassing for them that the Nero converted to Judaism. Shadrei Levoyu Las Pasianus Caesar. So since Nero was out of the picture, they sent Vespasian. Asitzar Latlushne. So for 3 years, Vespasian was making war against Jerusalem. Haviboy Hanut Losa Tire. And in Jerusalem there were 3 wealthy men, Nakdim ben Gurion, ben Kalba Savua, ben Tzitzis Akesis. Those were their 3 names. Nakdim ben Gurion, ben Kalba Savua, ben Tzitzis Akesis. That's their name. So let's hear about these 3 wealthy men. Nakdim ben Gurion, Shnakto Leichama Bavurei. Nakdim ben Gurion was a very, not only wealthy, but a holy man. That the miracle happened to him, that the sun stood still just like happened for Joshua. Ben Kalva Savua Shakol Nichnas Lebezaku Hu Raiv Kekelev Yotzik Shu Saveya. Ben Kalva Savua was not only wealthy, but he was a great philanthropist. Anyone could come to his house. He could be hungry like a dog. That's what it means, the son of the well-fed dog. He's hungry like a dog, he will leave satisfied. Ben Tzitzis Akeses. And then the third one, his name was Ben Tzitzis Akeses, which means the son of the tzitzis, the fringes, on the pillow. That he had servants hold pillows on his tzitzis so the tzitzis didn't roll on the ground. But others say that Ben Tzitzis Akeses, that his seat was found among the Roman noblemen, that he was part of the, I guess they called a forum, right? So one of them said, I am going to make sure that Jerusalem is well fed with wheat and barley. Another said, I'm going to make sure that Jerusalem has sufficient for all of its inhabitants, enough wine and salt and oil. And then the other said that he will give wood so people can heat their homes in the winter. The rabbis praised the benefactor, the philanthropist, who offered wood. The Rav, I guess also for building, for both building and for fuel. The Rav Chisda called Aklide Havamasal Shamay Bar Miditsive. This is Rav Chisda gave keys over to his servants for everything except for the wood storage. So Rav Chisda Chalva de Chite Boy Shitan and Kalve de Tzive Havlu Lamezan Esrim Echad Shata. It said that a storehouse for wheat requires 60 storehouses of wood. So with all of these donations, there was enough to support Jerusalem for 21 years. So they wouldn't have to worry, and they could win the battle. right? It was part of the war effort. Havu anhu bar yonei. However, there were certain ruffians, certain zealots. Amar lahu rabbanan nipuk v'navid shlom v'dayu. The sages said, "Get out of here, you zealots, because we want to make peace with the Romans." And the zealots didn't want to. Amar lahu rabbanan l'mistaya milsa. Wait. Amar lahu nipuk v'navid krava v'dayu. But the zealots said, "No, we want to make war against them." Amalu Rabbanan Mistaya Milsa. The rabbi said, "No, we won't. It's not going to work." Kamu klon hulanu abari dechite sari kanfa. So the zealots went and burned down the storehouses of the wheat and barley to make a famine. Marta bas baitos tirta Jerusalem hava. There was a woman named Martha, the daughter of Baithus. She was one of the wealthy people of Jerusalem. Started l'shulchan malei zil isali smida. Adazal is daban asal malei smida leka chivarta ika malei zasal adazal daban asal malei chivarta leka gushkrana ika. She asked for fine flour. Her servant come back and says, "No, there's only coarse flour." She said, "Okay, bring the coarse flour." He came back and there's only bran. So malei chivarta ika gushkra ika. Chivarta leka gushkra malei. So Asali, so then it said, "Go bring the bran." Asal is dam asal malei gushkra leka kimcha desari ika. So they said, "There's no wheat bran, but there is barley flour." Amar lo zil isil azal is daben. So he went to go get the barley flour, and that was already sold. There was nothing left. Have a shlifa misanam amar ipuk v'achzei mishkachana mishkachna midei demechel. So she took her shoes off, ready to relax. She said, "I'm going to go find food." This is really part of the chara misa. But since she was barefoot, she stepped on some dung, and it disgusted her so much that she died of disgust. Kari alei Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. So Yochanan ben Zakkai said, "This is what it says in Deuteronomy. Haraka b'chavanuga asher l'nissa kafragla, the most delicate woman whose foot never touched the ground. Ikadamre Gregoris the Rebbe tzadok achalovitz tinumesa." But some said that she ate a fig from Reb Tzadok and was so disgusted by it she died. Rebbe Tzadok Yosef Arbin Shnein B'Tanisa the lawyer of Yerushalayim. Reb Tzadok fasted for 40 years, praying that Jerusalem should not be destroyed. Kavachol midei havus chazei mevari. When he ate something, some small amount of food, you could see, like, kind of like lahavdil, what they say about the Buddha, that he could push. He fasted so much to push on his belly and feel his backbone. So Reb Tzadok, he fasted so much that if he ate something, it would stick out on his body. So when he would break his fast, he would break his fast on a fig, but he would suck out the liquid and cast away. So all that was left was the dried out fig without the liquid inside. That's what she found to eat. So when she was dying a slow death. She threw out all her gold and silver, because Ezekiel says that the gold and silver will be worthless. So the leader of the zealots was a man named Abba Sikra, and he was a nephew of Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai. Shalach le Tabtzinu legabai asam alei amos avdisu hachi v'kitlisu le ba'alma b'kanfa amalei v'yevedi yemena lahu midi katla liyamar le chazi le tekanta l'didel epik efshar davi etzel porta. Rabbi Yochanan Zakkai sent him a message to his nephew, "Come see me." He said, why are you trying to kill everyone? He said, what can I do? They'll kill me if I stop. So he said, I'll figure out how to make some small salvation. So Abba Sikra told him, all right, pretend to be sick, have everyone ask about you, bring something that smells bad so they think you'll die, and have people bring it out from your students, but make sure no one else touches your body, because a living person is lighter than a dead person because he moves around, not like people used to say in the early 20th century that the soul leaves and the body is lighter, but actually that the body feels heavier when dead than alive. So he did like this. He pretended to be dead. Rishum Eliezer wears Paul Barras. When he got to the gate of Jerusalem, the Baryonim wanted to stab him to make sure he's really dead. So they wanted to stab him, say, you're going to stab a rabbi? So they wanted to push him, you're going to push a rabbi? So they let him out. They opened the door, they let him out. So eventually, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai came face to face with the emperor, future emperor of Vespasian, who was the general at the time. He said, peace unto you, O king, peace unto you, O king. So Vespasian told him, you're liable to 2 death penalties. One is, you're calling me a king, I'm not a king. And if I'm not, and if I were a king, why are you only seeing me now? I'm like, you're saying you're not a king. Iver Malkat, you're going to become king. Because if you were not a king, Jerusalem would not be given into your hands. It says Lebanon in Isaiah 10:43, a reference to Jerusalem, will only fall into the hands of a mighty one. A mighty one means a king. Because it says in Jeremiah 30 that the strong one will be from him, the king. And Lebanon means the temple, as it says in Deuteronomy, this good mountain in the Lebanon. From Mart, so again, so if I'm the king, why didn't you see me until now? And he said, the zealots wouldn't let me go. Tell me, if you had a barrel of honey, I guess it means mead, and a dragon was wrapped around it, wouldn't you, would you break the barrel because of the dragon? Ishtik, so he's quiet. Karalei Rav Yosef v'Teimer Rabbi Akiva. So if Yosef, or some Rabbi Akiva said, that the wise answer behind them and their thoughts are considered foolish. Want to say, you want to say, wait, you could kill the dragon, take tongues, take off the dragon, kill it, and leave the barrel. Take out the the zealots, and then you save Jerusalem. Adhachias praise to Kalei Marimi. Amalaikum de Misla, Kesar, Rami Chashivim Rami Yasvina Beresha. Just then, a message came from Rome saying Caesar died, and you're the new Caesar. You're the new Havasai Mchadmusane Bumis Neachrina Loyal Boy Display of my high. So he was only wearing one shoe. He tried to put on the other, it didn't fit. He tried to take off the other shoe, wouldn't come off. So what's going on? I'm like, let's tire Shmua Toiva Asilach Tichsiv Shmua Toiva Dashanatzim. You get good news, it makes you grow, makes you fat. So Lamaita Kanti, so we should Inish the Loy Miat for Daitim and Nevi Achlov Kamedi Chsiv Ruch Necheti Abishkarim. Bring someone you don't like, and then it'll make it shrink, cover out the hachi bile. So that's happened. If you people are so wise, why did you wait till now to come here? I'm like, didn't I tell you? It's because of the Baryonim, because of the zealots. I'm like, so I also told you, get rid of them, kill them. I'm like, so the space said, I'm going to send someone else, but so tell me, I want to just tell me something. What do you need? I'm like, so Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai said, give me Jamnius, Yavne, and her sages. Shilta the Rabban Gamliel, and then also give me the dynasty of Rabban Gamliel to make sure that there should remain from the Davidic line. Asfos the Messiah and Leila Rabbi Tzadok. And also the doctors should heal Rabbi Tzadok. Karayale Rav Yosef Tamer Rabbi Kiva Meshav Chama Chavdav Nisakal Vorlam Meimal Yosef Kinel Hadazimna. So again, the same verse that wise men turn backwards makes their knowledge foolish. Why didn't he just say, leave the Jews alone, forget about it? If he asked for this, he would not listen, there'd be nothing left. What would be these doctors from Tzadok? So they healed him, they gave him water with bran, then water, then with flour with bran, and then he started to fatten up. Basel Shadr Titus. So Vespasian left and sent Titus. In Deuteronomy it says, where's their God who they trust? That's Titus, who blasphemed God. So what was so blasphemous? He brought a harlot into the Holy of Holies and spread out a Sefer Torah and committed a sin with her. Not till Seif Gitter is a Perechus. He took his sword and he stabbed the curtain. And a miracle happened that blood came in. So he thought he killed God. As it says in the Psalms, your enemies roar in the midst of thy meeting place. They've set up their own signs for signs. Rabbi Chanan said, who is like you? Who is strong, O God? And Psalm 89. Think how strong God is, that this wicked person did this thing and he wasn't zapped, like Nadu and Avihu were zapped, and Titus did this, he wasn't zapped. God held back and he let it happen. When it says in Exodus, who is like among you the mighty, O God, who is like you, who is quiet. All right, it's time for me to go to shul, but I still want to do one more from the Kedushas Levi, but thank you for watching. God bless. Please like, share, subscribe, comment.